Welcome back. So we're all things fun, local, and positive. That's exactly what Good Day is.
And we are positive you're going to have fun when supporting this local organization. Allison A. and her friends join us from Nature's Nursery with a little bit of a warning and also a friend this morning.
Yes.
Good morning to you.
This is Roman the rabbit. He is our
Roman.
education rabbit. And unlike the other education animals we have, you will notice that he does not look like the animals that you might see in your own backyard because Roman is actually a domestic rabbit, so he's a pet rabbit. And one of the things that we really would like to communicate this time of year is that wild rabbits should not be pets and pet rabbits should not be released into the wild.
Well, why not?
So wild rabbits, and even though, even if you find them as a baby, they're actually really, really fragile. Even for us to handle them and feed them, we have to be very careful. They're, it's challenging to not stress them out. So any kind of human interaction with them is going to stress them out, give them severe anxiety, if you will.
Aww.
And then also they have a tendency to very easily break their back and things like that. So our message is always, if you see baby bunnies in the wild or adult bunnies, please be hands off. You can give us a call if you have concerns about them, but do not interact with them or try to bring them in and raise them yourself.
Okay, so what should you do if you find like a nest, like a bunny's nest?
So bunnies are terrible nest builders. They like to build their nests right in the middle of a backyard, especially it seems to be when there's a dog in the yard. So what we encourage people to do is keep an eye on that nest. The mom bunny only comes twice a day to feed the babies so as to not attract predators. So it may feel like those babies aren't being taken care of, but the majority of the time they actually are. So if you give us a call, we can kind of walk you through some steps to determine if that nest is actually being taken care of by the mother.
Yeah, so really the goal is education kind of over the phone for you all, just to say, hey, we need to leave these wild bunnies alone.
Yeah.
So this is what to do and what not to do.
We have about 800 bunnies that come through our door every year, so the more that we can keep out in the wild and let mom come take care of them, the better. We've had bunnies that have come in that someone's trying to hand raise for over a week. The formula that we use is a very specialized, very expensive formula, so don't listen to Google. Google will tell you you can give them goat's milk or baby formula. It's not going to work. They really need the right kind of formula and the right kind of care.
Yeah.
Don't mom shame the bunny. Not nice. So I'm not helping. I feel like this is an obvious one because, okay, cool, I won't touch them. But what if because like you said, they're terrible nest builders. What if I just dig it deeper and then I've made it easier? Have I made it now worse?
Probably not. Moms are pretty determined. We're going to take care of our babies. So they're going to come back and they're going to do everything to get in there and take care of those. And it's an old wives' tale that moms won't come back if you touch them. They will. Okay. However, it's best to be hands off unless you need to be.
Okay. So this event is Hop to Adopt.
Yes.
So make it make sense, Allison, because you're like, hey, these wild bunnies, leave them out there.
So we are giving people the option to, we'll call it symbolically adopt a baby bunny. So we have like 60-some stuffed bunnies, and people can adopt them. They can send them to a grandchild, or they can send them to a kid at college. We've had some of that. Send it to somebody living in a senior home. And we send it with a little adoption certificate and a little QR code that takes you to a video about baby bunnies. And the whole idea is that $50 fee helps us take care of the real bunnies, 800-ish that come through our doors each year.
That is so awesome. So I'm not adopting Roman. He is not for sale.
No, he is not. He is our education buddy. We actually adopted him from the Humane Society. He was he was a rescue pet.
Yeah. So for folks who want to get a bunny like Roman, what is the care process like for a bunny?
It's a big commitment. It's a huge commitment. And we see a lot of times at Easter, people will gift baby bunnies or baby chicks or ducks and give them to kids that are enthralled with them for the first month or two and then lose interest.
Right?
Yeah, and it's a big commitment. You need to make sure you have a vet that will take care of that animal, that you know the right diet, that you have the right space for them. Bunnies need a lot of room to romp around. So we just encourage people really think that through before you gift something to a child that's going to lose interest. We'll get calls starting in August, September from people who have gifted these animals for Easter and are like, help, and it's like, but that's not what we do. You're going to have to call the Humane Society or something to try to rehome that animal.
Yeah, for sure.
I know when we adopt a dog is between 9 and 10, 11 years, hopefully longer, please, when it comes to dogs. But how long is the lifespan for a bunny? So if I adopt a bunny, baby bunny, how long do I typically have with that animal?
It really depends on what type of bunny it is, but they can live a fairly long time in captivity. I know some of them live 10 to 12 years, so it's a pretty good commitment.
Okay.
Yeah, and how can folks adopt these stuff?
They can go to our website. It's also been on our Facebook page, and just fill in the form, and we're going to be mailing them out to make sure they get to everybody's house well before Easter.
Okay.
I love
Sounds
it.
good. Thanks, Allison.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Roman.
Thanks, Ro. You did a wonderful job.
Way to stay cute, man.
I'm not sure he's even awake.
Wonderful. All right, now when we come back, a favorite of Good Day is making his way back into our studio.
Yeah, so local singer-songwriter Chris Shutters joins us with what he's working on. Make sure you stick around.